Hello guys, it's Bino123 and I'm back with another r/entitled parents, and today I have 4 stories for you. One is about how an entitled parent wants a refund just because the food took too long to make. Second is about an entitled mom and daughter who kick a family out of the pool just so they can have it all to themselves. Third is a sad story of a family being kicked out of their grandparents' house during a flood. Lastly, what happens when a sore loser switches teams to the winning side. And before I get into the video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. I'm going to leave a question in the video. First to answer it gets a heart. So make sure to be looking and let's get straight into the video. This one's titled, Entitled Father Throws Food in the Trash Because It Was Taking Too Long. So, this happened to my big brother a few years ago. He was working in a small cafe and this man came up to him, EF, and ordered his meal. My brother took his order and asked him if he wanted anything else. EF said no and went to sit down with his EK. A few minutes later, EF came up to him and asked what was taking so long. My brother explained that this was not a fast food restaurant, but they were going to bring his food as quickly as possible. EF grumbled a bit and then went back to his table. When the food arrived, EF looked pretty mad and whispered something to EK, who nodded his head and took the tray and threw it all in the garbage. My brother was shocked, but he didn't say anything. Then EF came up to the counter and started shouting at him, telling him that because the food took too long he missed his son's checkup with his doctor and demanded his money back. My brother didn't really know how to react to this, as most people who came to the cafe were polite and appreciative. He called the manager, and when the manager arrived, the man told him that my brother had spat in his food. The manager said that this didn't sound like him, but there was no proof that he didn't, so in the end, my brother had to give them their money back, and they just left. He still works there, and the situation still pisses him off to this day. That's it. This one's titled, How Dare You Tell My Daughter to Get Out? Okay, so this isn't as bad as most, but as a kid, I was definitely terrified. So, I was about 10, my family decided to visit our aunt and uncle in Florida. We wanted to go to a pool to cool off because it was hot. When we arrived, there was another family on the other side of the pool, a mother, son and daughter. As I was trying my first few steps into it, I heard the mother calling her daughter. I looked up and saw the girl on the other side of the pool. Because I was raised to always help people, I swam over to the girl and said nicely, "Hello, I think your mother wants you." The girl said okay and doggy paddled back to her mother. About 20 seconds later, I hear the mother calling to me and the following conversation occurs. EM, hey you. Me, hello. EM, did you tell my daughter to get out of the pool? Apparently the daughter told the mother that I said she wasn't allowed in the pool and had to get out or I'd hit her. Me, no miss, I heard you calling to her and... EM, shut up! My daughter said you would hit her if she stayed in the pool. I didn't understand what she was on about, so I looked over to my aunt. Aunt, did you say that to her? Me, no. I told her that her mum wants... EM, no you didn't. Get out of the pool now! I didn't understand what I did wrong, but did what she said. My aunt asked me what happened and I told her that I only told the girl that her mother wanted her. So, my aunt went over to the EM and told her I meant no harm and never said I hit her daughter. The EM called me over and made me apologize to her daughter, and the daughter, which I did because I genuinely thought I was in the wrong. The EM then looked over to my aunt as if to say, "There's your proof." My aunt asked me what I did. Before I even got a chance to say anything, the EM said in a very intimidating voice, "Don't you even dare lie." Needless to say, we quickly got out of there once we realized she was crazy. This one's titled, Entitled Mother, My Aunt, and Why We Haven't Talked in 3 years. I live in southeast Texas where there are very large flood zones. While my mum, dad and brother were away at my house, I was staying at my entitled grandparents for longer than expected due to Harvey flooding the roads to my house. And they are the parents of entitled aunt and my dad. Whenever our house did get flooded, What sucked was I was watching my family frantically move valuable things upstairs on their own, and plus my mother had a surgery a week before this and she couldn't walk on her own. She is capable of walking, but she didn't really do it because she wasn't supposed to, and so she had to be carried upstairs by my dad and brother, and I just sat at my grandparents' house doing absolutely nothing to help them. I know it was out of my control, but I felt horrible. A few days after, my family and my dogs made it to my aunt's house. Since we were basically homeless at this point, still to this day our house is just now being finished, and it does look rather modern and ravishing. My family stayed there for a few days before me and my entitled grandparents could actually make it there. When we did, it was awesome. My dogs were going insane and my parents were so happy I was okay, and I was happy they were okay too. But things didn't go well, and I could kind of tell even though I was 14 at the time. My entitled grandma was talking down to my deaf mum, which my dad's side of the family never liked for the reason that she's not good enough for her, when both my dad and mum are deaf. Not claiming that's why they're married. I know deaf people can marry hearing people. My entitled grandma kicked me and my family out of my entitled aunt's home because my EA was complaining about the stress she's going through with them there, and that their child is too young for all this stress when they live in a fairly normal sized house. It was 2 stories and the works. My cousin, entitled kid, was saying, "No, it's okay really." But EA persisted. I kind of had a feeling that they weren't what they seemed, because I always thought family could never hurt you, but I think they're the ones that can hurt you the most. Eventually, we all had to move into a motel, and we stayed there for about a year. We never really talked to them after that since then. We weren't in the motel anymore. We lived with our other more supportive grandparents now. In 2 weeks we get back home into our home after 2 years of waiting. It's been a long journey since then, and I've been forced to grow up faster than I would have wanted to, but that experience opened my eyes to the realism of the world. But anyway, I digress. Thanks for reading. This one's titled, "Entitled Dad Demands That His Son Joins the Winning Team." I won twice on a Nerf tournament when I was 13, but the second gave me a reason to never play tournaments ever again. The tournament consists out of 6 groups of 3 people, and of course 6 oldest kids were captain. When we got to choosing members, I randomly picked 2 10-year-olds who were also playing airsoft, and I didn't know that till we played one round. The tournament started, and after 1 hour I played 2 matches with my group. The game was a CTF, capture the flag, where you would have to pick a flag from the enemy and carry it to your base and got 1 point per flag. Then entitled kid enters. EK lost twice in a row with no points given, so he started to cry and curse me for not picking him. I told him that what I did was random and I could have picked him, but that I made a decision on complete random. He went away and continued to cry, and of course he went to his dad. And here is entitled dad. He was furious at me when I played my 3rd match, and he got angrier for each point we scored against his son's team. After this match, ED was so furious that he went to the referee and started to use some mean words, and also saying that EK was supposed to be with them and that I told him I would pick him. The referee got tired of this and went straight and calmly to me. Ref: "Did you tell EK that you would pick him?" Me: "No, I said I could, but I just chose someone else instead." Ref: "Okay, but we don't want any problems with the ED, so we're switching you in your teams." Me: "What? Isn't it unfair that I get to lose for being too good lucky?" Ref: "Sorry, but I hope you understand." At this moment, I was so angry that I had to spend playing one last match to get one victory in the end, and guess what? EK lost every single match again. But here's exactly what happened. When the tournament ended, ED went to the referee again and demanded that he would get the 1st place prize. Referee ignored him, and the ED was so mad that they had no patience and kicked him out of the building. I met with the 2 10-year-olds and asked them how did they lose. "Because we don't want losers to win," one of them said. He also stated that he saw what happened and that they didn't even know him at all, but after EK was shot within 10 seconds of their first round, the reason why he got shot was because he ran straight to get the flag, so they threw away the rest of the matches because they knew how I felt when I got swapped. I never saw EK nor ED ever again, and I am happy that airsoft is a thing in Czech. By the way, I got the idea from my wannabe in the army friend who played airsoft. So the lesson is, never leave your mates behind. No man's left behind. EM. This iPad belongs to my child now. He deserves it more than you. My mom. Hippity hoppity, don't touch my son's property. I'll shoot you. Ribbit ribbit.